What's up? Tommy Mitchell here, your lazy agent and realtors. If you're generating around 20 or so leads a month and you're not closing at least one of them, you're likely committing one of the worst cardinal sins a realtor can commit. And make no mistake, because our Lord and Savior Gary Keller will indeed punish you in the afterlife. Now, don't worry, in this video, I'm going to save you from Gary Keller's wrath and start showing you how you can start closing 2 to 4 deals every single month consistently. And no, don't worry, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm literally just here to tell you that the cardinal sin that you're committing this entire time is most likely not following up with your leads, or at the very least, not following up with them enough. I know, a very crazy concept, but here's the deal. Most realtors just so happen to suck a lot at following up with their leads. I don't know why, but to be honest, I struggle with it too. Lead follow-up is just hard. Now, it's simple in terms of just follow up with them, but for some reason, it's just hard to do. In fact, a lot of things that are considered simple are usually not always easy to do. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. But that's what I'm here for, to show you my stupid, simple follow-up plan for converting more leads into hot deals. So that way you're not just wasting tens of thousands of dollars or time buying all these leads and never converting any of them. And I'm going to do it in 3 easy, simple steps. Are you ready? Let's go. Step 1 to mastering follow-up for your real estate business is I need you to commit 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, following up with your leads. I don't care when you do it. I don't care if it's at 8 in the morning or 5 p.m. at night. Just commit to 1 hour a day for follow-up. Like, I'm not even joking. The best thing you can do for your real estate business and just making a ton of money in general is just being consistent. And consistency is really hard. I totally get it. So that's why I want you to commit to just 1 hour. That's it, no more. When the hour is over, you can stop or you can keep going if you want. Just 1 hour, time block it. Do it at the same time every single day. Make it a non-negotiable. Just do it. Now, step 2 is we need to change your mindset and approach. And the way we're going to do that is I need you to stop selling your services and start genuinely helping your clients. Now, what do I mean by this? Instead of putting your needs first, I need you to start putting your clients' needs first, especially above your own. Now, does this mean you just do whatever your client says and bend over backwards to always make them happy and do all these things for them? Absolutely not. That is not what I'm talking about. I actually want you to do much less for your client, like do less, because the only way you can help your clients is only doing the things that are within your job description or what your license, your real estate license, allows you to do. When you start doing things outside the scope of your license, you're not giving your clients very good service. So again, what we're doing for our clients is limited, but we're going to be giving them the best help possible, putting their needs first. And this includes referring them out. So if you don't think they're going to be a good client for you, maybe you're not going to be able to give them the best possible help. Maybe you don't do commercial, or maybe you're not very good with doing like investment properties. You might want to refer them to a different agent. Additionally, if they don't really need to buy and it would actually be better for them to rent a house, point them in the direction of renting. Like, just put their needs first and help them out. And here's the thing with this, you're actually going to make a lot more money because, one, you're not trying to convince someone to work with you who probably doesn't need to be working with you. They're really just going to be a time waster, a time sucker. And in addition, they're going to really appreciate you pointing them in the right direction and will likely start sending you referrals. So now, what does all this mean? So like, how do we provide better service for our clients other than just referring them out? One thing I really like to do and focus on is making sure my clients feel heard and understood. Now, a lot of coaches, real estate coaches, like to refer to this as finding their pain point. I used to be a big believer in trying to find the pain point, but not everyone really has pain points, or not. Pain points is really the wrong word if you really think about it. I think people really just want to feel heard and understand, and then being able to provide a solution to their situation. Now, their situation might not always be pain, but they might have a problem, or they might be hurting in some way. So there could be pain, but it's not always pain. The point is, you need to provide a solution, and the only way to do that is if you're actively listening and hearing them and letting them talk more. And the way you do that is by asking really, really good questions. Now, you're probably wondering, how do you ask better questions? And the reality is, you just gotta practice. Practice makes perfect. Practice asking really good questions and practice active listening. You're gonna mess up a whole bunch. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes, but that's okay, because the only way you're gonna get really, really good at asking good questions and listening and really helping your clients and ultimately selling more houses is just by taking imperfect action and start talking to clients. Which leads us into step 3, and that is gonna be following up with your leads. Now, here's my super simple system for following up leads. Just so you know, I have a ton of automation that I use for different things and different types of lead follow-up. None of that is relevant right now. We really need to focus on the basics of follow-up before we start doing a bunch of fancy automations and newsletters and postcards and all sorts of crazy cool things that we can definitely do in time. But right now we need to focus on our basic follow-up until you're closing at least 2 deals a month. Once you get to 1 or 2 deals a month, then we can start doing more advanced automation stuff. But right now, until you get the 2 deals a month, just do everything I say from here on out. For your lead follow-up, you're going to divide your leads into 3 main categories. You're going to have your hot leads, your warm leads, and your cold leads. Hot leads are going to be leads that are likely going to buy within the next 0 to 3 months. So if they're going to buy within the next 3 months, you're going to follow up with these leads every single week, no matter what. Warm leads are going to be leads that could buy at any time, but they're probably going to be more 3 to 9 months out. Really kind of use your gut on what you think a warm lead is. Generally speaking, I do it the kind of just looking loose. We're probably, several months out, definitely within the next year, but just a few months out before we start buying. So every 2 weeks, I'm going to be following up with all my warm leads. And lastly, we have our cold leads. These are going to be leads that are probably 9 to 12 months or even longer out, usually a year plus out. I do 9 months, but you can do a year plus out. And these are leads that you're going to want to follow up with every single 4 weeks. It's just easier to keep track that way. And we'll talk about our schedule here in a moment on why that makes sense on every 4 weeks. Any lead that's probably a year plus, 9 months plus out, again, kind of use your feelers. If they're not a warm lead and they're not a hot lead, they're probably a cold lead. You're going to want to follow up with them at least every 4 weeks. Now let's talk about follow-up for a second, because I did say I use a lot of automation for this type of follow-up. I'm talking about personal follow-up. That means no automated texts, no automated emails, no automated voicemails, none of that. This needs to be personal, real human connection, because this is a relationship game. Real estate's all about relationships. You need to follow up with people personally and manually. Now, does this mean you have to call all your leads every single day? No, you don't have to. It's really a good, fast, and easy way to just talk to people really quickly. But you can send out personalized text messages. You can do video text. You can do personal emails. I would keep the emails really, really short, like 1 or 2 lines. And when they're personal, add some personal touch to it. Like, hey, John, how are you and the kids doing? And you're like, is Martha doing well? Add a lot of personality to it. At least act like you care. Even if you don't know the lead that well, do your best to be relatable so that you are their go-to, so that they feel like you have a relationship with them. Even if they're not fully committed to working with you yet, try really hard to be as personal as possible so that they think of you first when the time comes to pull the trigger to buy or sell a house. All right, so we agree this system is actually pretty easy to implement. Now let's go ahead and see what this looks like on a weekly schedule. Now again, in the beginning of the video, I asked that you commit to 1 hour a day, 5 days a week for follow-up. Now Monday is going to be our cold lead day. We're going to start backwards. We're going to focus on our cold leads first, just because Monday is kind of a cold, slow day and you might be busy with other things. I usually find myself writing offers and reviewing offers on Monday, but we're just going to call our cold leads just to kind of check in. Again, you don't have to call them. You can do a video text, personal text, email, a handwritten note. You can do any of these things. Just make sure they are personal. So again, every Monday, I don't care when you schedule it, just pick an hour, sometime, make it a non-negotiable to follow up with your leads no matter what. Again, obviously, we're not going to get through all of our leads here within an hour. You're probably going to have more cold leads than any other type of leads. You're going to just be stacking that pipeline. Again, people that are not really interested in buying, you might throw them in there. You're probably going to just naturally have more cold leads than you are hot and warm leads. So the way my CRM works is if I'm not in contact with someone in say every 4 weeks, it'll notify me and say, hey, here's all the people you haven't been in contact with in the last 4 weeks. Go ahead and follow up with them. So you can build systems like this, or you can just look and see when did I last get in touch with them and just start with the oldest to the newest. I just kind of go through, get as many done as you can an hour. You could probably do between 20 and 30. If you have a triple line dial, you could definitely easily do 60 or 100 in an hour. Actually, I take that back. Don't use a triple line dialer for following up with your leads, because you're going to want to leave personal voicemails too. So if they don't answer the phone, leave a personal voicemail. Obviously, don't do any bulk texting. I would just do manual personal text. And like I said, just get to as many leads as you can within that hour window that you have, and you should be golden. Now, Tuesday is warm lead day. Every Tuesday, I like to follow up with all my warm leads. Again, I don't care when you do it. Just pick a time in the afternoon, in the morning, in the evening. I don't really care. Just pick a time for an hour. Follow up with all your warm leads. Now, these warm leads are going to be following up with every other week. So you can probably get at least half of your leads done in a week. And then the following week, you get the other half done. And that way you're following up with them every other week. You probably really don't want more than 50 to 100 warm leads at any given time. If you have more than 100 warm leads, you probably just need to get rid of a bunch of those. Because first off, there's no way you're working with 100 clients at once. That's just way too many. Probably a lot of them are going to be time wasters, and you may as well put them in the cold bucket or somewhere else. But usually I find between 50 and 100 to be plenty of warm leads. Same thing goes with hot leads. Hot leads are going to be our Wednesday and Thursday follow-up. I like to give 2 dedicated dedicated days to our hot leads, because again, I really doubt you're going to have more than 50 of these leads, and you're probably going to be having longer conversations with them. You're going to be talking to them a lot more. You're probably going to need more than 1 hour once a week to be following up with all your hot leads. Now, usually I average between 20 and 30 hot leads at a time. I've had as many as 50 or even more. Really, if you have more than 50 hot leads, I think that's just way too many. I think a lot of those leads probably aren't really serious, and you might want to cut some of the lower price point or leads are probably not worth following up with, but to each their own. Regardless, make sure you follow up with your hot leads at least every single week. And Wednesday, Thursday, again, is my favorite day to do this because, again, people are going to probably want to look at houses on the weekend. New listings come on the market Thursday, Friday. It seems like to be the most common day that we get new listings. So I want to be around and available to remind them, hey, want to see some houses this weekend? Call me. Now, the only day we have left is Friday, and this is kind of my super secret bonus day that I did not mention, and I kind of reserved Friday for my sphere or any other dead leads that aren't even considered cold leads. I just call this my nurturing leads. Again, we haven't mentioned this yet, but this is kind of my catch-all. Nurturing is just kind of my general everybody. So people that either past clients, they're either my sphere, or they're just people not really needing to buy, and I might want to call once a year just to kind of check in and see how they're doing. Regardless, my nurturing leads, I'm just going to put in a big list and just kind of go through as many as I can in an hour. Again, they're generally sphere. I don't always talk to them about real estate. I try to keep it really personal. So if it's friends or family, I just check in, see how they're doing, see what they're doing for the weekend, try to build that relationship, build that connection, and just try to be a human, like try to really connect with people as much as possible, because real estate is really just a relationship game, and your sphere wants to be your friend. They might want to use you as a realtor, but really they just want to be your friend. And if you're your friend, they're probably going to refer you business anyway. So just be friendly. Same thing with your past clients. Just check in, see how they're doing, see how they like the new house. Just say hi. And again, don't be trying to pushy. You don't necessarily have to bring up real estate. I'm sure they will naturally bring it up themselves because they know you're a realtor. They'll probably ask you about it, but don't feel like you need to just bring it up or anything like that. Just talk to them, just be human, and further that relationship. Now, again, obviously there's a lot more we can do to stay top of mind. We got newsletters, postcards, social media, property alerts. There's just so much we can do, and I'm a big fan of a lot of these things, and in fact I do utilize them and implement them, and I actually have a ton of videos on a lot of these different things, and have a lot more videos coming up here soon about these different things that you can definitely check out right here. However, really focus on doing this first and mastering this basic follow-up before you try and get too fancy. You're gonna have a lot more success doing that. If you want a ton of free follow-up campaigns, I do have a ton down below that you can get for free, so check that out. With that said, my name is Tommy Mutchler, your lazy agent, and I will see you in the next one.